We are only a couple of weeks away from the All-Star break and just over a month away from the March 25th trade deadline. A lot of teams have been making moves this season, whether it be trading away their young guys for a veteran superstar, as the Nets did to acquire James Harden, shoring up the wing and front court players as the Cavaliers did with Jarrett Allen and Taurean Prince, or veterans for young players to develop a strong core, as in the case of the Pistons trading Derrick Rose for a younger version of the former MVP himself in Dennis Smith Jr. Okay, maybe not quite a younger version of D Rose, but D Smith. Good God Almighty. Has had one of the unfortunate runs of having been a lottery pick and seemingly hasn't found himself a home. One thing these teams all have in common: none of them are exactly a threat to be a title contender this year. Yet they seem to be actively making roster adjustments to somewhat see themselves making progress and to make a playoff run with a semi-competitive team. Throughout all this movement in the NBA, one team in particular hasn't been making any changes, or even hinted at doing so. That team is the Golden State Warriors. Considering the large number of injuries and the excessive amount of downtime for some of the players, why aren't they making any adjustments to personnel? Do they plan on waiting till just before the deadline? What gives? Hey, what's happening everyone? This is Swish. If you're new to the channel and like the content, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, as it helps the channel a ton. Thanks and welcome to Swish Culture. So the Warriors have been right there with the worst of them when it comes to team injuries. For the last 2 years, the team has been unable to stay healthy and had the worst about face from making it to the finals one year and then being the absolute worst team in the league the following year. Following the injuries of Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Kevin Durant, a 15-win season stamped the end of a year where the franchise had to depend on its rookies and G League players to hold down the fort. In the meantime, this was invaluable experience for the likes of Jordan Poole and Eric Paschall, who made the first team All-Rookie after being selected in the second round with the 42nd pick. Fast forward to the 2021 season, and these rookies and G Leaguers are now playing the second unit on a still somewhat depleted Warriors squad. Klay is injured for the second year in a row. Draymond got injured early in the season. Marquise Chris has a broken leg. The second overall pick, James Wiseman, has been injured, and the team has been playing without a player over 6'7" for the past 2 weeks. How's that been going? Not particularly good. The Warriors have gone 3-4 over the last 7 games without James Wiseman, who was expected to be back almost a week ago, but is currently still recovering from his wrist injury. With these injury issues, the Warriors have also faced other issues regarding player performance. While Steph Curry has been white hot this season, eventually getting his name into the MVP conversation, not as much can be said about his teammates. Kelly Oubre Jr. had one particular highlight game, hitting a career-high 40 points, but has been mostly quiet aside from that one outburst. Andrew Wiggins, while good defensively, seems to not have as much offensive capability as he had even with the Timberwolves, as he's averaging less points. One could probably attribute that to the fact that he's expanding more resources on defense and is unable to keep up offensively because of it. A few guys on our bench, Jordan Poole, Nico Mannion, and Alen Smailagic, have been sent to the G League, Nico being the only first-timer. However, despite the experience and talent the Warriors have on the bench, it seems to be one of the biggest weak points teams love to exploit. So how do we fix this? With Brad Wanamaker coming in as the backup playmaker for the team, the Warriors bench has been, to put it nicely, terrible. There is no true playmaking on the second unit, as Wanamaker has not been nearly good enough to be a second-string point guard. Wanamaker currently averages 2.6 assists, which is 87th in the league, and 4.5 points per game in 16 minutes a night. That means 29 teams have at least 3 better playmakers than Wanamaker. Not good for a backup point guard. We currently have only one big man over 6'10", and he's a rookie that's not even available currently, and the rest of the bigs are injured and out, so there is no true veteran big presence in the locker room. With this being said, there seems to be a lot of work to be done to this roster, but it doesn't seem the front office is in any mood to make any changes at the moment. However, this doesn't mean that there aren't trades that can be done to improve the team. Since Bob Myers and company haven't made any moves, I've decided out of the goodness of my heart to put together some trades that would benefit the team going forwards and help set up the Warriors for a championship run in the coming year. The first and most obvious trade is Brad Wanamaker. Having a backup point guard perform so poorly is a detriment to the team's aspirations, regardless of how mediocre they may be. He is a piece that the Warriors have to move with urgency. Wanamaker is averaging less than 5 points per game and 2.6 assists, shooting an abysmal 23% from 3 and less than 34% from the field. While he is definitely gone by the end of this year, the Warriors should at least look to get something for Wanamaker, as they're getting nothing on the court. Bob should offer Jordan Poole, Brad Wanamaker, Kevon Looney, and a 2022 first-round pick for Lonzo Ball and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. This gives us a solid young playmaker that can shoot off the catch and a great developing mid-range game. Lonzo is only 23 and has yet to hit his ceiling and has been doing fairly well playing outside of his specialty for the most part. He would thrive under Steve Kerr, playing alongside Steph and Klay. Walker would be a fantastic young shooter off the bench behind Klay Thompson. We still have Nico Mannion, and if we stagger Lonzo's minutes, we have top-tier playmaking with our second unit. There are a couple of options for the next move. We can use our DPE to sign Jarrett Allen to have a decent backup center for Wiseman. Allen is at that sweet spot where he is still young and adaptable, but he has plenty of experience and could give us very good minutes, whether starting or off the bench. The next option would be to trade Wiggins for Andre Drummond and use a second rounder to sweeten the deal. This would send Wiggins to Cleveland, and while the Drummond contract is massive, so is Wiggins' contract. I don't believe Cleveland will get rid of both. However, after drafting Okoro, it's safe to say Cleveland would be looking for a veteran wing. We could go with either option, or we could go with both, as the Cavs do have JaVale McGee. We would have a strong presence on the offensive glass, great playmaking, lob threats regardless of which unit is on the floor without sacrificing defense or shooting. That gives us a potential starting five of Curry, Lonzo, and Oubre, who have both been shooting well over 40% over their last 10 games. Not only have they been shooting well from 3, they have been shooting well overall. Kelly Oubre has been shooting 80% from the free throw line over his last 10 games. Over Lonzo Ball's last 10 games, he has been shooting 91% from the free throw line, as well as 47% from deep. This is a very big deal. Draymond and Wiseman. Stagger Lonzo and have Damian Lee come in at the halfway mark for him, and you have a second unit of Lonzo, Lee, Kent Bazemore, Pascal, and Jarrett Allen. We'll lose some chemistry with Looney, but we gain everywhere else. At the end of the season, we'll be more than able to figure out if Kelly can continue to grow with his team. We will have Lonzo's bird rights and see how well he does going into the playoffs to make a determination on his contract. The fit next year with Klay is something we can figure out during the offseason, along with Minnesota's pick. We will have a lot of valuable assets and a monster of a team to contend with for a finals run in 2022. For those of you wondering about Jeremy Lin, he will have to prove himself in the G League. His last stint in the NBA, Lin was averaging 7 points per game on a combined 37% shooting. He was just 20% from downtown and had a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. At the close of the G League season, I'll revisit Lin's case and see where he stands if we could possibly use him on a team going on a championship run as opposed to developing Nico. And that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. For more content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and become a part of the next big thing. Swish culture is only getting started. Till next time.
I block so hard, Smitty gets served. Call me Lonzo Ball, bitches get swerved.
Usually I don't get down with these girls, but tonight it's on my mind, so I might eat these words. I just wanna